But Jesus said unto them, be of good cheer. Do not be afraid. And when Peter answered him and said, Lord, if it be thy will, allow me to come to thee on the water. And he said, come. And when the disciple came down out of the ship, he walked on the water to Jesus. But when he saw the wind and he heard the sound of the waves, he was afraid. And he began to sink, and he cried, Lord, save me. And immediately Jesus stretched forth his hand and caught him and said unto him, O thou little faith, why dost thou doubt? And when they came to the ship, the wind ceased. Then they were in the ship, and they worshiped Jesus, and they gave praise for that which Peter had done, and said unto the servant of God, O a true, thou art the Son of the living God. Amen. Heavenly Father, we come to you right now, God, just thanking you, God, for your presence in this building on today, God. We thank you, God, and our minds, God, are excited about that which you're going to do, God, through your spirit. Amen. 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 Our subject for today is This Storm Has Value, Part 2. And we're going to talk about how the piece of the second and the third point. The first point was, sometimes storms are sent to teach you how to endure, to teach you endurance before deliverance. And we talked about how sometimes deliverance is not an automatic thing, but sometimes you have to be built up in endurance, and with endurance comes its own deliverance. The second point we talked about was he was teaching Peter and the disciples faith before fear. He was trying to get them to see that even in the midst of what we're going through, we have to have faith in God. And so when we left off on last week, we were at the portion of the story where Peter had just begun to step out in the water. And there are some points that we talked about on last week. But one point that I want to talk about just a little bit more from last week is the fact that not only was Peter saying, God, I want to be with you, but he was also saying, Jesus, I need to be rescued from people whose first response is fear and not faith. Understand, how many of you in your life have people that first respond to fear and not faith? I call them first fear responders, or FFRs. The minute you say you're going through something in your life, the first thing they talk about is fear and not faith. The first thing that you say is, when I'm going through something or I'm dealing with something, their response is not to pray for you or to say God's going to get glory out of this. The first thing they start saying is, you must have done something wrong. You must not be obedient to God. You must have made God upset for you to be going through what you're going through. But I come to tell you today, you've got to get away from first fear responders. In other words, you got to change your circle around, because a lot of people in our lives are more prone to fear than faith. Amen. And every time you have a bump up along the way, the first thing they do is push you to fear and not faith. Do anybody got folk like that in your life? That every time you're going through something, they start talking about, oh, I hope you ain't going to die from it. I hope this ain't God sending you home. They never say this is just a storm that you got to go through on your way to glory. But they always say, I hope this is not the end of your life. Maybe you know my cousin had that same thing. She died from it. But anybody got some people in your corner that when you're going through something, they start telling you there's some value in the storm. Oh, I know I'm going to give me an amen on that because tell the truth. When you start going through, you ain't got nobody to tell you you won't come out of it. You don't have anybody to tell you that's just God working in the midst of what you're going through. The first thing people tell you is something wrong with you. But I understand that you got to change up your atmosphere in life. You got to stop hanging around folk that make you think that everything you're going through is because you ain't doing something right. And start hanging around some people that's connected to you in prayer that say what you're going through is God's assignment. I wish I had some real folk today. Tell them I'm just on assignment. This storm is not because I'm not tired. This storm is not because I'm disobedient. I'm on assignment. In fact, when I got through preaching Sunday, I got attacked with a storm. But rather than look at what I was going through, I started looking at God's hand in it. Because how can you preach folk on assignment when you can't go through yourself?
Talk about it.
Oh,
Talk about it.
The minute you go through a storm, they start talking about your demise. Rather than start talking about your promotion. See, you got to understand sometimes in order for you to get promoted, you got to go through some things. Everybody wants promotion, but nobody wants storm. Everybody wants to be like Jesus, but don't want no cross. Everybody wants his glory, but don't want the struggle. Watch now. Understanding the text, it says, Peter gets out of the boat. And the text doesn't say he fell in the water. The text says he walked on the water because he recognized what he was told and not what he saw. He recognized when Jesus said, don't be afraid, come to me. Many of us go on what we see and we follow rather than what God told us. See, I got to talk to some praying folk today because sometimes what you see is not what God has told you. See, when you start looking through your perception, you'll start falling rather than standing on some water. Look at your neighbor and say, it's not always what you see. See, I believe that this is real faith because real faith is moving based on what he said. Real faith is moving based on the permission that Jesus gave me to come to him.
Oh, wow.
Now, you got to understand Peter's theology in this. Because it doesn't make sense for Jesus to say, come on water, and Peter comes on water. But understand, Peter understands here, my security is not in the boat. My security is on what he's saying. Some of you looking for false security. Some of you looking at false security, but your security is not in your job. Your security is not in your best friend. Your security is on what he's saying right there. Come on. Oh, Lord. Now watch. Because, y'all look, it's not like they never seen Jesus do anything crazy. That's right. They just got finished feeding 5,000 folk with 5 pieces of bread and 2 fish. Right. So in other words, they seen Jesus do something crazy. But now that he says, come to me and walk on the water, they ain't believe that.
Come on, Pastor.
Woo! Watch this, y'all. Watch this now. Because you've got some people in the church that believe in Jesus enough to come to church every Sunday, but don't believe in Jesus enough to take him to work.
Talk about it.
Don't believe in Jesus enough that when you having problems in your marriage, Jesus can be in your marriage. They don't believe in Jesus enough that when you having problems on your job, Jesus can be on. We believe him when it's time to shout, but we don't believe him when it's time to go through. Tell them, say, neighbor, I wish you quit running from the storm.
Come on now.
Wait a minute. Because this is crazy. Brother Robert, that not only does he leave the safety of the boat, but he leaves behind scared folk. I come to tell about 15 of you in here that's real crazy. You might have started leaving behind some folk that don't believe in God. You might have. I'm not talking about they don't believe in God like I know it's a greater God and I believe Jesus. I'm talking about folk that don't believe that God wants you to do something crazy. Watch now, watch. Let me take time. Watch. He says now, if it is your permission, let me come to you. Jesus says, I give you permission to do something that's crazy.
Crazy. Come on, Pastor.
Now, Peter didn't look around and said, James, I need confirmation.
Come on here, Pastor. He didn't say that.
Because y'all ain't hear what I'm saying here. Sometimes when God says something crazy, we want confirmation. I need about 5 people to help me preach this thing like I want to preach this thing. Tell you that my confirmation is Jesus. And if he told me to step out, you ain't look at your neighbor. I say look at your neighbor real quick. And tell me my confirmation is Jesus. And if he told me to come. Wait a minute now, watch it now. Now watch this. Because this kind of faith, Darnell, is greater than the faith we use. We use faith to tell a headache go away. We use our faith to say that he was raised on Easter Sunday. We use our faith to buy a nice church coat. But this is crazier than faith. Because this faith says, I want you to step out and walk on the very thing that was over your head.
Amen.
Y'all ain't ready to go. Y'all ain't ready to go. I'm talking about, I want you to walk on what tried to kill you. I want you to walk on what tried to destroy you. I wish I had a prayer church today. I want to tell about 15 people. God is about to give you the power to walk on what tried to walk on you. Y'all ain't gonna preach the way I want to preach. I got on the sick bed to tell you today, this storm is attached to your purpose. Jesus is about to make you walk on some things that was over your head. They said you couldn't make it, walk on it. They said you'll never be nothing. They said you was too sick, but God said, walk.